Hello, webheads. There are currently lots of discussions and questions regarding Tasman's sequel, and one of the most popular one is probably, will Gwen Stacy die in the future Spider-Man film? So, here are my thoughts, guys. As you all know, in June 1973, Marvel Comics released an issue of The Amazing Spider-Man 121. Well, what's so special about it, right? Well, Gwen Stacy died in that issue. A moment that shocked every single comic book fan and actually, changed the whole comic book industry. It's considered now as one of the things that put an end to the Silver Age of comic books, which been replaced by Bronze Age, a time when a darker, sort of grittier stories came into the comic book world. Now, sometimes I think about it. As a huge Spider fan, I wish I could go back in time and read the issues without knowing what's going to happen. It's just, to feel all the emotions and shock, just experience the whole thing, like every webhead did in 1973. But truth is, guys, it seems that in the near future it actually might be quite possible, although in a different way. In 2014 we're getting a sequel, in my opinion, to a successful reboot of the Spider-Man franchise. Right now I won't be discussing the credit scene. No, the reason for this is simple. There's no point in it, really. Sure, I do have my own theories. I've been writing about them all the time on Facebook page. Sure, it might be Norman Osborn. Sure, Rhys Ifans stated that it's not Norman Osborn. Perhaps he lied, and so on and on. I'm sure you guys have your own theories and thoughts, which, by the way, you can post in the comment section down below. I'll make sure to read them. Let's just say, guys, it's a Green Goblin, right? And we are about to see the introduction of Norman Osborn in the sequel. Now, in 2008, Christopher Nolan gave us The Dark Knight, which, by the way, as a Spider-Man fan, I really enjoyed. It's been praised by the critics and fans, and now is considered like, one of the best comic book films of all time. In my opinion, it simply raised the bar to the point when, every next comic book fan, next comic book film, is trying to look and, feel the same way as Dark Knight, with all its gritty and dark themes, and of course the death of the Rachel Dawes. Now, here's what, guys. Mark Webb's Spider-Man is an exception, really, and it's not a bad thing, there's nothing wrong with it. Mark Webb stated himself that he tried to get a more darker, a more realistic version of Spider-Man, and guess what? He succeeded. I really enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man, I'm sure you guys did too. And, without going any further, I'll say that I love Raimi's trilogy as well. It's different and quite appropriate for its time, especially Spider-Man 1, which was really successful and sort of first of its kind, despite some changes from the original source, like the organic web shooters and so on. Here's what, guys. I think Gwen Stacy will die in a future film, perhaps in a sequel or in a third movie, but eventually she will die. She wasn't introduced just for the sake of change and to differ from the previous Spider-Man films, I'm sure about it. The real reason behind it is this new, realistic, darker way of doing a comic book film, As you remember, guys, Peter gave Captain Stacy a promise to stay away from Gwen, and by the end of the movie he broke the promise. You're probably asking yourself, why did Mark Webb did it? Well, the reason is simple, I'm sure you guys know about it. It's actually to make Peter suffer a big time, to regret about his decision in a future film, perhaps. That's the whole point of it. With great power comes great responsibility, and eventually Peter will learn it. This particular scene, the school scene, It's been discussed before on IMDb boards and various other websites, and it seems that, general audience didn't get the twist. What's the point of it? Why did he break the promise? Well, I can't blame them really. Seeing Peter breaking his promise by the end of the movie might look a little bit out of context and foolish, but we comic book fans know the truth, right guys? Alright. Let me know what you guys think. Post your theories, your thoughts in the comment section down below. Alright? Until next time, bye.